Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Chakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word, teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazak Ba with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And this lesson is going to be a continuation of the lesson that I did yesterday, covering this video here. Iran reveals CIA and FBI are monitoring Black Israelites right now. Now, when you get into this video, and first off, I want to make the same disclaimer that I made yesterday. This Black Israelite term, this doesn't encapsulate the truth of what we preach. The Israelites aren't just Black. The Israelites aren't just African American. The true Israelites are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they won't even all come looking like that, because we have been scattered across the four corners of this earth. You are an Israelite by the seed of your father. If your father is an Israelite, all the kids that father has is going to be an Israelite. And through, our nation being scattered across the four corners of this earth, you have had, Israelite men who have had children with, women of all different nations. And the children come out looking like those different nations. So those children are Israelites as well, even though they don't look Black, even though they don't look like a Negro, Latino, or Native American, but by the blood, they are an Israelite. So I just want to put that out there again to, set the record straight on this title. But like we spoke about yesterday, Esau is going to come down hard on this Israelite, on this truth. Esau is going to come against this truth, and on a grand scale. And why is he doing that? Esau's rule is set up on lies. The whole setup where you have Edomites in our land, Amalekites who are calling themselves Jews. They aren't the true people. That's all set up on a lie. They have a well-crafted web of lies that this truth that we preach dismantles and tears down. And so this truth is the biggest threat to what Esau, to Esau's rulership and, his stories and what he has set up. Because when you listen to, the word of the Most High, through the prophets, the teachers, the men of the Lord, you start to understand who Esau really is. You start to understand who the true people really are. And what does that do? That makes it to where, you think about all the lies that have been perpetuated. You think about all the evils that Esau has done in the name of being the children of the Most High, and you start to understand that it was all a farce. It was all, something that was, it was all deceit. And you start to understand, who the true people of the Lord is, and Esau can't have that. So he is going to do what? Come against his truth, and by any means necessary, discredit it, make it seem evil, and, tear it down. So in this video, I just want to get into, a couple of the ways that Esau is going to do that. And, this video gets into it. So let's just, without further ado, go ahead and play it.
In response to these perceived threats, Iranian intelligence claims that U.S. intelligence agencies have enacted a series of covert operations aimed at neutralizing the Black Israelite movement. These operations allegedly include extensive digital surveillance, infiltration of Black Israelite groups, and disinformation campaigns designed to discredit the movement's leaders.
And right there, right out the gate, what did it say? Infiltration of it. What did it say?
These operations allegedly include extensive digital surveillance, infiltration of Black Israelite groups.
So infiltration of groups. So what you have, you have people who are set up calling themselves Israelites, and whether they are, paid off to speak certain things or paid off to do certain actions, or are members of the CIA or FBI or whatever they're a part of, they're set up to, be a wolf, and or be, be a wolf in sheep's clothing, come into this Israelite movement, act as if they're down, that they're, teaching the truth as well, but they have been set up to do something evil. You have people who have been paid off to speak false doctrine, but it's it's going to get even worse, to where you're going to have people who are, you know, going to, under the guise of being an Israelite, do evil, terroristic actions, and bring, bring smut and evil to what we do. It's going to make it seem like all of us are, with that type of energy. And this is, hey, as it says in Second Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. This is how Esau moves, and we know that. The men of the Lord have been preaching about these things and prophesying that these things are going to happen, but this video is just confirmation. And these things are going to start manifesting on a wide scale. So let's listen to some more though.
And disinformation campaigns designed to discredit the movement's leaders. Iran asserts that the FBI has placed undercover informants within Black Israelite communities,
Mhm.
monitoring their activities and gathering intelligence on their beliefs and organizational structures.
Right. So there's agents within the camps that are, that are teaching, seem genuine, going out on the highways the whole time. They are informants, giving, information, the inside scoop, and um, hey, being wolves in sheep's clothing. So let's listen more.
Furthermore, Iranian reports suggest that the U.S. government is actively shaping media narratives to portray Black Israelites as an extremist fringe group rather than a legitimate religious or historical movement.
And what are one of the ways that Esau does that? Well, we look at the whole anti-Semitism thing, to where, if you say anything about them fake Jews, you are deemed as evil. You are deemed as a as a anti-Semite. And Esau is going to take the things that we teach and preach, the doctrine that we believe and teach, and he's going to demonize it. He's gonna put it out there as if we are evil men. He's gonna try to bring blame to the ministry by what we teach. And hey, the scriptures tell us about this in Matthew chapter 10 verse 22. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Because it's going to come a time, people already don't like the Israelites. You have just the regular of our people, 2/3 that don't like us. You got these heathen that don't like us because of what we teach. But is going to become an everyday thing where the Israelites are going to be on the news, and our faces are going to be put up for being terrorists and evil men, and we're going to be hated, and persecuted, and deemed as if we are like wicked men. And it's gonna come by way of these different infiltrations that Esau is setting up, and things of the sort. So let's read on. I mean, let's listen on.
By linking the movement to isolated incidents of confrontation or controversial rhetoric, intelligence agencies allegedly seek to marginalize Black Israelites in the public eye.
Right. By doing things like what? Having a man, if a man does a wicked, evil act, he um does something violent, he has fringes on, you automatically attribute it to this man was an Israelite, or man, I never forget. I think it was Vocab Malone. There was a guy who did. I forgot what he did. I think he did some type of major crime, and Vocab Malone brought out the point that before he did the crime, he was listening to Israelite videos. These are the type of you know um things that are going to be brought against us. It's things like that, and it's not funny, but it is a little funny. It's a little funny of the the lengths that Esau will go to shut this thing down. But um let's read on. I mean, let's listen on Salaki.
making it easier to justify continued surveillance and intervention. Ultimately, if Iranian allegations hold any validity, they raise critical philosophical and ethical questions about the boundaries of state surveillance, the regulation of historical narratives, and the extent to which governments are willing to suppress ideological movements that challenge dominant frameworks. The scrutiny of black Israelites, Iranian analysts argue, is not merely an issue of national security, but a reflection of a deeper struggle over historical truth, identity, and the power to define reality itself.
Right. So let's skip to about right here. Let's see.
To discredit and disrupt the movement. Iran's allegations suggest an intelligence apparatus intent on neutralizing what it perceives as a challenge to prevailing historical, religious, and political narratives. If these reports are authentic, they indicate a direct continuation of counterintelligence methods historically employed against black-led movements, raising urgent questions about civil liberties, religious freedom, and the racialized nature of state surveillance in the United States. Iranian intelligence officials assert that the CIA and FBI are deploying advanced technological tools to monitor black Israelite gatherings, teachings, and digital footprints. The alleged scope of these surveillance programs is vast, involving AI-driven data analysis, real-time location tracking, and deep infiltration of online spaces where members communicate. If Iran's assertions hold true, these operations mirror Cold War-era intelligence programs such as COINTELPRO, which sought to dismantle black liberation movements through surveillance, infiltration, and psychological warfare.
Right. So we hear, we listen to what it just said. It's saying that, where brothers speak to each other online, what is being tapped, being surveilled and monitored, and you know, of course we try our best to carry ourselves in a way that won't bring the ministry blame. We aren't the true men of the Lord ain't doing no violent actions. As the scriptures say, we're supposed to wait on Yahweh Shai. We aren't, going out here and about to commit no crimes and do nothing violent. We just preaching the truth, and at the end of the day, we understand that it's prophecy that, this blame is going to come upon us, that we are going to be, framed as, wicked men, that we are going to be framed as criminals. It is what it is. We can only do so much of, carrying ourselves in the proper manner, but I just want to make that point. Let's listen on. It's about to get to a point that I wanted.
One of the most striking claims made by Iranian analysts is that U.S. intelligence agencies have intercepted phone calls and encrypted communications of prominent black Israelite leaders. The leaked documents reportedly detail extensive efforts to gather intelligence on their ideological stances, plans for religious gatherings, and connections with other social movements. Iranian sources suggest that American intelligence agencies have leveraged the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA courts, to justify wiretapping and electronic eavesdropping on individuals associated with black Israelite communities. While the U.S. government frequently justifies such surveillance in the name of national security, Iran argues that this monitoring is not about preventing terrorism, but about preemptively suppressing an ideological shift that could challenge the status quo.
And that's what it is, because Esau knows that this isn't a terrorist group. This isn't a movement that's trying to do anything of the sort. But to stop this truth coming out, to stop, this word that's going to challenge what Esau has set up, that's going to dismantle it because of the power behind it, he has to make this seem like it's something evil. So let's go back to this Matthew chapter 10. Let's go to verse, read on in verse 23. It says, or let me see, Salakia. Um, let me see. It's like, give me 1 second. I gotta find the scripture. Okay, here we go. I found it. It was before what I had. So we're going to go up to Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. It says, Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Now let's look at, Yahushai's walking and what he had to endure. Yahushai was was looked at as a criminal. People was spitting on Yahushai and just looking at him as a detestable person because he was framed as an evil man, but Yahushai did nothing wrong. And we're going to have to follow in the footsteps of Yahushai of being, wrongfully accused of things. And because what does it say in verse 17? But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And even though we're going to be walking wise as serpents and harmless as doves, some of the brothers will still be caught up, imprisoned, delivered up unto these councils, go through these different things, because it's all the will of the Most High at the end of the day. What does it say? And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Now this is the point. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. For what? The being within this truth. And so it's going to get to a point to where this is going to be deemed, so evil. The Esau is going to, have it to where if you are in this truth, you are a criminal if you teach these things, if you are align yourself with these beliefs. And so it's going to be a thing to where the men of the Lord are going to be wanted, and we're going to have family members selling us out. We're going to have, you know we're going to be, sold out by the people near unto us, and will be, you know um caused to be put to death. This is prophesied. This is what we're a part of. And this is why the scriptures tell us in Luke chapter 14, verse 28, to count the cost. It says, For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? If you're gonna build a house, you don't just start building it with no plan. No, you didn't start and think about what you're gonna do. No, you see how much material you have, you see your budget, you see how much time it's going to take, and then you go ahead and do it. And that's what we have to do in this truth. We have to understand what we're into. We can't just get into it because it's a fad, or it sounds nicer. No, we have to understand that there's a sweet and bitter in this truth. And in this, we're about to go into Jacob's trouble. We're about to go into a heavy time of prophecy where you know uh, some of us in this truth will be put to death. Some of us will be in prison, and we have to understand that and count the cost of, are we willing to bear that? Are we willing to bear the pain of knowing that our closest family, those who we trust, are going to sell us out? We have to count that cost. But this is a thing that's going to happen. And so like, I lost my train of thought. um Sorry, I guess that means, hey, we're supposed to move on to the next precept. I lost my train of thought. So let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. It says, This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Now, I get this for a couple points in here, but let's read it. It says, For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Now it's getting to it. It says, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers. You're gonna have men set up being false accusers of us in this truth. Incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, petty, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. And these are going to be the traits of people in what? The last days. In these perilous times, you're going to have false accusers of us in this truth. You're going to have traitors that's going to come against us in this truth. You're going to have, Judases in this time. And is all going to fall in line. And these things are going to happen because what? Because Esau is going to set this truth up as a wicked thing, as some type of terrorist organization. Where just like you have these pictures of the people up in this AI generated image. We have to think about like going places, and our image is going to be plastered up, as wanted men because of lies, because of slanders against us. But hey, let's get let me see, is it let me see. Okay, now yeah, okay, so this is the scripture I was thinking about, but we grabbed it in Matthew. So we really don't even need this one anymore. But we're gonna grab this in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." So some of us are going to be cast into prison. And when it says, that we'll have tribulation 10 days, it doesn't literally mean that we'll be in prison for 10 days. Some men may be in prison for 10 days, but these 10 days just represent a period of time. We don't know how long that time is going to be for, who goes through this judgment. But it's a trying process. Through all of this, why do we have to count the cost? Because, we have to understand that, through all of this, we can't fold. Even though Esau is going to come down, and put some of us to death for this, for this testimony that we preach, you know, even though he's going to imprison some of us for this testimony that we preach, it's a trying process. Let's get that real fast. That word tried. Strong's G3985, which is to try whether a thing can be done. Okay, here, to try, make trial of, test, for the purpose of ascertaining his quality, or what he thinks, or how he will behave himself. To try or test one's faith, virtue, character by enticement to sin. So basically, the Most High is going to put us in different situations to see whether we are going to, stay 10-toe down for this truth. Go through with whatever punishment we have to go through. Even if we are wrong. Well, even if we are slanderously accused of doing something that we didn't do, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, it's the judgment that the Lord has set up for us to try us. Because what? For those who pass the test, and are faithful unto death, it says, "And I will give thee a crown of life." We will be the first fruits in the kingdom for those who are put to death for this truth. The scriptures say, "Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for us." So this is these things are a trying process, and some men are going to go through these things and fold, and they, fold to Esau. But as this truth is going to be set up more and more as a wicked thing, as this image of the beast is going to be set up, where anything that is contrary to it is evil. We're coming into a time where being a man of the Lord ain't gonna be no cute thing. It ain't gonna be no trend. It's not gonna be a thing that you're gonna um is not gonna be cool. We're coming into bitter times, as that topic has been coming up a lot in Israel lately. We have to understand that there's a bitter aspect of this truth, and this is one of those bitter aspects that, being a part of this truth, we're going to be seen as the scum of the earth. Like, people looked at Yahweh Shai, and we understand how glorious Yahweh Shai was, and how glorious, how much more glorious he is now after going through what he went through. But hey, as members of the hopeful elect, we have to go through a period of of heavy trial, of heavy bitterness, and these these measures that Esau has taken of having people infiltrate the camps, figuring out what we believe, figuring out the different things that we say, setting up you know different slanders and accusations. This is all a part of that, and this is going on as we speak. So Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Chakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS and a salutation unto the elect. Shalom.